In this section, I want to look at hoisting. Hoisting in JavaScript. The first thing we need to know is, what is the meaning of hosting? Hosting is lifting. You have something you want to lift up. That is, you are what? Hosting it from bottom to top. Okay? JavaScript has this what? Behavior in terms of variable and functions. Okay? Now, before we continue, let's refresh our mind on these two things. When we say declare, we say what? The program or JavaScript interpreter is aware of the variable. If I say I've declared a variable, I am saying JavaScript is aware that such a variable is in existence. That is, I am aware that it exists. Put that at the back of your mind. Another thing we must know before we continue is this. If you declare a variable like this, you do console log a, this variable is declared. Because we have not put any value here, we say it is not yet initialized. So what you are going to see is all defined. That is all defined. Okay, let's confirm that. If we run this now, you can see in this place, it's showing us what? All defined. So any variable that is declared, which has not been assigned any value, such a variable will default to all defined. Now that we have established these two things, now let's go back to hosting. What hosting is saying, you can use a variable before you declare it. You use it before you declare. For instance, I do console.log. I put a here. Later now, I put var a. When JavaScript is running a program for the first time, it's about to execute a program, it creates what we call the global execution context. In this global execution context, we have the creation phase and the execution phase. So, as JavaScript sees this program for the first time, it will go into the creation phase. This creation phase is where it prepares things. It's like prepare everything. Okay, this one is in order before the execution. I don't want to go into details on this here. I'm just trying to give you the surface what? Description of what is going on. It will just prepare everything. So in this creation phase, JavaScript is looking at this. It has not executed anything. It sees this. You are asking me to log A, but I'm not aware of A. It comes down here. I see A is declared. Okay. What it will do, behind the scene, JavaScript will move this guy and put it here. This is called hosting. It's as if originally this is what you wrote. It's like JavaScript is helping you to rewrite your program behind the scene, the way it should be written. It will not give you any error. But you agree with me, if you do something like this originally, if this is what you actually did originally, this will give you what? All defined as earlier established. But this is not what you actually did. What you did was that you put var a here. That is, you use a before you declare it. So this idea of JavaScript allows you to use a variable before you declare it is called what? Hoisting in JavaScript. What we are seeing here, that is also the behavior you will see with functions. So this hoisting is possible with variables and functions. Using a variable before you declare it. It's like JavaScript is helping you to rewrite it. Understand? Okay. So this one now will be moved here. That is, it will not give you any error. Remember, what is taken up, what is being hosted is the variable declaration. But what if I do something like this now? I say console.log a, I do var a equals to 2. What output do you think it will still give me? Do you think this time it will give me 2? It will still give me all defined. All defined. Why? JavaScript will only lift the declaration part. There are two parts here. The declaration, declare, and this is what? Initialization. This is the only part that will be lifted up as if this one never exists. So what you will still see in your output is all defined. Okay, let's look at this now. We are using a before the declaration. Let's see the output. See, all defined. If I assign a value here now, let's assign 2. If I run it now, you see, still all defined. But normally, if you have written this code like this by saying var a equals to 2, console.log a, you agree with me, this guy will print 2, not all defined. So let's move this up now. Let's run now. See, it's giving us 2. But why is it pretty all defined here? Because it is only this declaration that is lifted up, that is hosted. Okay? So what is the meaning of that? It means that what JavaScript is writing for you behind the scene, what is seen, this is what we are seeing, right? What JavaScript will do for you, which you will not see, is, remember, you did not put this one here originally. You said var a equals to 2, for instance. Now, what JavaScript is going to do for you behind the scene is var a console.log a, then it will just put a now is equals to 2. You see what it's doing for you? That is why it's only working on this, saying that what? It is what? All defined. Because this initialization is not lifted up. You can see when it was lifting this group up, it was only this one that was lifted up. This is what JavaScript is doing for you. Only the declaration is hosted, not with the initialization. This is very important. Okay? Look at the behavior with length. We say console.log a, then we say length a. This will give you error. What type of error? Reference error. That is what this will give to you. Why is it giving us error? Although it has helped you to lift this up, console A, it assisted you to lift up the declaration of A, but it did not initialize it for you. Look at this. When it helps you to lift this A up here, it also assisted you to initialize this to all defined. It assists you to assign all defined to A. So when you do console now, what you will see, all defined. That is a value I gave to it because you use var. If you this now, it only assisted you to lift A up using length, but it did not assign or define to this guy. Therefore, it will give you reference error. Then it will tell you you cannot access A before it is what? Initialized. Okay, let's confirm that. So you can see occurred reference error. Cannot access A before initialization. That means it has not yet been initialized. No value has been placed on A. No value has been assigned to A. But this other one, the value that is assigned to A is undefined. Okay? Now you are saying, what type of abracadabra is that? See, look at this. This is telling you that what? A cannot be accessed until it is initialized. Look at this. If I do something like this now, I say console log B. Okay? Then I do length C. Remember, this length C will be moved up. But this one is not what is here. This is C. This is B. Which error is it going to give us? We only lift this up. If you ask JavaScript about C now, it will tell you reference error. Unless it is initialized, you cannot access it. You cannot have access to C. You cannot use it. But what about B? B is not even declared at all. It's not even defined. So this error will be what? Not defined. That means I am not aware of it. I am not aware of B. B is not in this program. But for this one, as you can see in this place, if you move this guy now, you move it to this place by saying length A. It will only tell you that what? Reference error. That is, I am aware of it, but the problem I have with you is that you have not assigned a value to A when you use length. But for this guy, B is not even declared. It will tell you that what? It is not defined. Not defined is the error this will give you. Why am I showing you this? Just to let you know that what? These two things are different. One is not even defined. So not defined is not the same thing with all defined. All defined is referred to the initialization aspect. This not defined is referred to the declaration aspect. Okay, now let's see. This is what we saw on the board. Okay, I want to comment this out. If I run this now, as you can see, cannot access before initialization. This was already established with this. Okay, now let's see another kind of error. If I run this now, it's saying there's still an error. But what type of error? B is not defined. B is not part of this program. It's not anywhere to be found. If you ask of C now, you agree with me now that C is simply say what? All defined. All defined. So there's difference between all defined and B is not defined. All defined is a value assigned to this when it is hosted. Okay? Not defined is saying I am not aware of B. So I just want to spell that out, that there is difference between undefined and is not defined. Okay? This behavior is what you will see with const. So I don't want to repeat anything. Consts have similar behavior like length when it comes to hosting.